Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today is the first video on a new series I'm kicking off for my channel this month, which is basically videos about every book I read in 2021. I thought it would be a nice way to kind of round up the end of the year into the new year and also do a recap for all the books that I've read, kind of divide them out so you guys know if you're feeling like a single parent romance, you can check my channel. I've got some great recs, all that kind of stuff. So welcome. If you're new here, I would love for you to consider subscribing. I like to talk about the romance novels that I read here on my channel, and in that way be able to support the authors whose books I read. So welcome. Here we are with the first video in the series. This video in particular will be all the books that I read in these two different tropes, which are my favorite tropes to read. I read all kinds of tropes, but these two have my heart. It's second chance and single parent romances. Let's start with second chance. That's my number one favorite. I think, in a lot of ways, my own love story with my husband is second chance. So it always warms my heart to be able to read this kind of love story. I'm gonna go just down the line and tell you a little bit about the book as I go. If you want a more in-depth review, make sure you double back with my channel. Look down below in the video section because these are all books that I have done videos on for my channel here as well. So in absolutely no particular order, not favorites or anything, practically chronologically, if I remember correctly how I wrote them down when I was preparing. The first second chance romance I read in 2021 was Preacher by Christopher Harlan. The two main characters are Lyric and Preacher. It's his East End Boys series. Preacher, whew, wow, like the most alpha I had read in a while at that point. Lyric was like a kick-ass chick, really liked the book, and what I remember about it, Preacher was just like a take no shit guy, and definitely a little bit of drama, definitely spicy. I need to go and look and see if Christopher released the second book, which was, I believe, was going to be about Preacher's brother Pope. My reading schedule gets really full really fast, so I have not been able to go back and read if that book has been released, but I remember really being intrigued by his brother. The next book on the second chance list is Goodbye Guy by Jody Waters. This was a cocky hero book. I really have liked the books that I have read in that world that was created with the Cocky Hero Club. The Goodbye Guy, or just Goodbye Guy, I should say, is about Jameson and Chloe. I remember reading that book and being emotional from the very beginning. They're from the same small town. They were childhood sweethearts, and then Jameson ended up leaving town and kind of not looking back and left Chloe kind of in the dust. And now he's come back into town. I really liked that book. That was a great story. Highly recommend. Next on the list is Only Once by Ashley Munoz. You guys know I have done videos on all of Ashley's books except for one, and that was my error. I thought I signed up to read it and I hadn't. Oh my gosh, this is about Bexley and Ryan. They were, again, college sweethearts, and then Ryan kind of goes off and he's an actor, and is that right? Or no, he was football and then he turned actor, I think. Don't quote me. Bexley ends up marrying somebody else, has a couple kids, is divorced from that. They always held a torch for each other. Oh yeah, I loved this book. And I can also say that this was the book that I felt like Ashley's writing went to a new level for me. I liked her books before that, but there was something about this one that tied me up in knots a little bit more. There was a little more steam than she had written before. I really liked Only Once. The next book we have is The Sound of Temptation by Dylan Allen. I love Dylan's books. She just makes my heart beat fast. There's something about her stories. The Sound of Temptation is about Beth and Carter. This was a surprise to me. I think I thought I knew these two characters going in a little bit because we've met them in other books, but wow. Whew, it warmed my heart and it broke my heart in equal measure, which I, of course, freaking love. Carter and Beth meet completely by chance. They're walking down, I think, was it Beth that was walking down the beach and Carter sees her and wants to talk to her and they start talking. And, turns out that their families kind of know each other. Carter is a musician and is about to start, like his life is about to start, his band is really starting to take off. Beth is an amazing artist. God, if I remember correctly. You know how it is when you read an author's books and you read a bunch of the books and you're like, wait, was that character in that book? And I think that character was in this book. And wait, they're friends though, so they were in the other book. So forgive me if I don't get the stories exactly straight. And like I mentioned, I do have videos on all these books. But I think that was the story with them, I'm pretty sure. And then the last second chance that I read, well, actually is there going to be another one? Oh, there might be another one. As I'm filming this video, there is a couple more weeks left in December, but these videos won't go up until January. So I think this is the last second chance that I will read this month. In any case, here we go. The Other Brother by Diane Lane. Still can't find the words how much I love this book and this world that Diane has created here. The book is about Dylan and beep, not telling you, not giving you a spoiler. If you've read the book, you know why I'm not going to give a spoiler. And if you haven't, it's because this book deals with a tragedy within this family. And one of the characters that we know and love passes away. And then it's about how this family that I love and adore picks up the pieces, moves on, and it's about Dylan finally getting his love story. I can't even, I'm a little choked up even talking about it. I loved this book. Let's move on to the single parent trope. I freaking love the single parent trope, and it's even a little extra special for me if it's the gentlemen that are the single parents. There's something about men and how they are fathers that really gets my engine running. I completely fell in love with my husband after each child we had, to see him with the babies and holding them and knowing we created them. I'm just a total mush. So single parent is always gonna do it for me. Now, I also do appreciate when it's the female main character that's the single parent, and if her new love interest, how he is with the kids, yeah. This is why I love this trope. The first single parent romance that I read, that was hard to say, in 2021 was The Perfect Fit by D. Lilac. This was about Eli and Ruby. The thing I loved about this book is that Ruby is a little bit older and has 2 boys. She is newly divorced. She is keep on trucking. She is trying to do the best that she can with her 2 boys. And I really liked Ruby. Eli comes into the picture and she just, she's a little apprehensive about him. He's a bit younger than her, and how he responds with the boys and stuff, I absolutely loved. There are more books in this series that that are out now. I want to read them so bad. I need to read them this year. The next book, I believe, in the series is about Bear, and can't remember her name now. I feel like it starts with a P, but it's Ruby's sister and Eli's dad. Hello. Right up my alley. Up next, we have When the Storm Breaks by Emery Rose. This is the second book in the series. The third book has come out. It will be included, but under a different list. Brody and Shiloh. Freaking love Brody. This was a book that I kind of didn't see coming. Brody we had met in the previous book, When the Stars Fall. I was pissed at him at the end of that book. I didn't feel like I got to know him that well. I love that I was kind of mad at him. So I was very interested when Emery said that she was writing his book to actually read it. I wanted to get to know him better, and boy, did I. Freaking loved this book. And of course, it's a Brody, that's the single parent. Oh boy, I just realized if I tell you guys some things and you haven't read these books yet, that you might get spoilers. Well, I don't think it's really a secret if you've read When the Stars Fall that you know that Brody is a single parent. Maybe that's all I'll say. But Brody as a daddy, hello. Oh my gosh. Then we have Need to Have You by Alexandra Silva and Sophie Blue. I was anxiously awaiting this book as well. It is Parker and Summer. Parker is the single parent in this situation. Parker we had met. This is the third book in this series. Parker we had met in the second book. I could not wait to read Parker's book. I was very excited. I adored Summer equally. Parker surprised me a little bit. He was the little dirty bird, and I kind of like that. He kind of reminded me of Adam, who is the main character from the first book. Oh, yeah, I like this book too. And last but not least, we have King of Hearts by Ashley Munoz. This is the Rake Forge University Series Book 2. This is Juan and Taylor. I did not see this book coming at all. I have read the first book in the series, which will be, of course, in another list, in another video. This book, wow. Two characters I didn't expect to be together. Two characters that it just, like the whole situation that Ashley wrote about, things that she brought to the surface. I was like, where were you hiding all this when we were reading Wildcard? Like, how did you knew this was happening? Like, oh my God. I love that Ashley surprised me so much with this book. So there we have it. There are all the second chance single parent romances, obviously two separate things, that I read this past year. Let me know if you have read any of these in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts as always. Stay tuned for more videos just like this one, and of course my regular reviews coming soon. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. See you soon.